Welcome to the Iconoblast podcast, but it's not the Iconoblast podcast. This is Iconoblast Tangents.
Ooh.
Episode 1.
Episode 1.
This is a new idea that we just recently came up with where what we do is Joel comes up with some related topic to one of the shows that
But you could
that we've
too,
done.
maybe, if you want.
I mean, if
It's going to mostly be me, but maybe you could too.
I have the time, I'm out there, I'm fucking wheeling and dealing, I'm
You're out on the
deals,
streets.
I'm out on the town selling my ass for money. Somebody's got to pay the rent.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Iconoblast. We put the past on blast. Hit 'em with the truth, with things you never knew. Nobody is safe, no thing to place. Got Joel and Coop with history in your face. Iconoblast.
once I stopped selling my ass on the street corners and, down on let's be honest, it's not on 6th Street. I'm not that attractive. Then we'll start
You're an attractive
switching off
boy.
on topics. To make money on 6th Street, have you seen the fucking hunks of meat they got down there? Male, female, and everything in between. Fucking hot.
You fit right in, Coop.
No, in the area that
you
I'm
are
in,
an attractive young man.
I'm just, so
Which side of 6th Street? Downtown 6th Street or the other side of 6th
Dirty
Street?
6th? No, I'm not even good enough for dirty. So the exit that you take to get to 6th Street, and there's usually that group of homeless people there begging for money.
The ones with the giant... Oh, dude.
You take a right and go the opposite direction, and I'm down there by the places that look like warehouses.
Okay. Yeah.
So
you're giving blowies for 20s.
20s?
5s?
5s?
It's that bad.
Why do you think I'm so busy all the time? If I was making $20 a blowjob, I'd be pulling in like fucking $600 a day.
Hey.
So no, what you want to do is you want to exit on the 6th Street exit, and then instead of going left like you're actually going to go to the fun part of 6th Street, you take a hard right, just look for the seediest fucking part of town. If you're a fan of the show, I'll hook you up. First one's free.
Yeah.
I'm not making any money because I've been giving away so many for free because people promise they're going to come back.
Wait, so a lot of people have been going since you've been saying this?
A lot of people have been coming. They don't come back, though. So this is Iconoblast Tangents, and what we do is, at this point, Joel writes his own episode that has something to do with one of the recent episodes, and then
This is my second episode that I wrote.
I have to read it sight unseen, and that makes it very difficult. Well, so not entirely sight unseen, because what I have to do is I have to transcribe it from...
You get to look at it one time through, but that's not always going to be the case, because if I get real excited, I'll make you not see certain parts.
Well, the part that takes me so much time is I have to go through and transcribe it from a bunch of crayon scribbles and drawings on a piece of paper, and then actually type it into the computer and try and translate what it is that you're trying to say. Well, it's like a combination of hieroglyphics and then uppercase and lowercase letters.
Dude, my grammar's not that bad. It is.
There's no reason to put an uppercase letter in the middle of a word unless it's like an Irish person's last name.
I don't do that. Do I do that? Does uppercase...
I don't even understand why you switch the color of crayons in the middle of a word.
Okay, look, dude.
I mean, it is pretty.
And no, it's not. It's a vibe. It's a feeling. There's an emotion when that happens. But you're so logical that you're not seeing the emotion in the capital letter in the middle of the word. It means something.
The only emotion that I feel is anger when I'm going through it. But once it's done, it's semi-legible.
Death is the only adventure I love. I just stacked these liquid IVs up here because these motherfuckers sent us a giant box of 1,000.
Oh, yeah.
We are juiced for like a year.
At the rate that we drink liquid IV, it's going to go a whole lot faster than that.
It's going to go, well, now, that's that thing. Like, when you drink alcohol, it's like...
No.
No? You don't drink alcohol?
No. What happens when you drink alcohol?
No, there's this... When you're an alcoholic, I guess, like me, if you buy a fifth of whiskey, or you buy like a pint of whiskey, go home. I'm only going to drink this. You drink the whole thing. You either go get another one or you actually fall asleep. If you're trying to be responsible, like, all right, buying a fucking pint every day is way more expensive than just buying a handle and then only drinking a pint a day. But then, so you buy the handle to save money.
Quote unquote, a pint.
Yeah, whatever your average is.
You change the name of a handle to a pint. It's like, I redefine this as a pint.
That's what happens on accident, because when the alcohol's in the house, you just will drink it more. It sucks. You can't control yourself. But that's okay, because now we got this.
Well, I guess since this is a bonus episode, Liquid IV isn't even going to hear this.
Yeah.
So, we save ourselves from hangovers
seriously, though,
on a very regular basis by drinking Liquid IV. I have been drinking like multiple packets of Liquid IV
just
per
like
day. This is just
appreciation. This is a shout out.
This is us actually being able to say what we want to say about Liquid IV, and it's fucking amazing. We have bags and bags of it.
Oh, thank God! Now I don't feel. Because
nice.
I've got like 6 packs left, I'm like, okay, well, how bad is my hangover?
So I
gotta save these.
Can I really afford to use this packet of Liquid IV on this hangover, or is the hangover tomorrow going to be that much worse?
But weren't you saying that some members of your family actually got it because they listened to the show?
That
tell that
is
story
100% true. So I don't want to say any names of any members outside of my immediate family, but a couple of my cousins went to stay with my parents a little while ago, and they had actually listened to the show before and decided to pick up some bags of Liquid IV to support the show using liquidiv.com/icon. Use the promo code icon.
They use the icon. See,
they use the promo code.
They had your back, and they weren't even sure about it, but they were like, we should support Coop, and they were like, all right, we're going to use the promo code.
And now Liquid IV has some lifelong customers, because when they went to visit my parents, they actually already had bags of Liquid IV with them, and they were just drinking them all day, every day.
IV to Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, it was before Thanksgiving, but that's a good time of year to use it also, because I had a terrible hangover after Thanksgiving.
That's awesome.
They would drink it, from what I heard, they would drink it regularly throughout the entire day because it tastes good.
It does actually taste good. That's crazy. Yeah.
It's got that. It's a hydration multiplier.
Yeah.
It makes it like you're drinking 4 times the amount of water, but you only piss the same amount of water that you drink, which is super fucking convenient.
Yeah. This is not a sponsored ad.
This is not a sponsored ad.
They're actually a good product. We actually do love them.
We use them
and you can get a discount if you use our icon
daily basis. Yeah, use liquidiv.com and use the promo code icon.
I had a point to that, but I forgot it.
Because you're an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Thank God for Liquid IV.
Yeah.
So before we get into the topic for the day, which we've got a little tangent for our Bloodsport episode that we did with Adam Hester from the Skeleton Factory podcast, one of my favorite episodes that we've done so far.
That was a lot of fun.
Adam is fucking hilarious.
Funny as fuck, dude.
So goddamn funny. I have a feeling that he is going to be much more famous than we are very soon.
Dude, I think we should have him
I mean, we're pretty fucking famous, let's be honest.
He's not as famous as us right now.
Not yet, but it's going to happen.
Dude,
it's going to happen real soon.
This tangent idea, I was already thinking fuck. Because I'm a movie guy, but I more worked in the industry, so that means I don't watch movies anymore. He's like a movie guy the same, but he didn't work in the industry, so he watches all the movies.
He watches every fucking movie.
So I feel like these tangents will naturally be mostly movie related. Like I know you're doing Pearl Harbor on the next episode.
Spoiler
I'm
alert.
already thinking fucking, all right, I'll do a tangent on Ben Affleck or something.
Or what's the other guy's name? Jake something? He was in Lucky Number 11, Sin City. Ben Affleck's buddy from Pearl Harbor.
Oh, his buddy? Isn't his buddy
Matt Damon with
Matt
brown
Damon.
hair.
No, but I was whenever we should have him on the tangents all the time.
Is his name Jake or Josh? I can't remember that guy's fucking name.
Josh Brolin.
Yeah, Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
So, before we get into the topic for the day, we got a special package in the mail.
Yeah. Do you have the actual envelope?
I have it right here.
Okay, good. Because this is fucking serious.
Joel can vouch for this. I was actually overly upset about this before we started recording this episode today because
Wait. I think we should let's go through the package positively. And then when we say the bad news, we'll go into it, right? Isn't it better to just enjoy or do we start with the bad news?
I don't know. I actually
do you want the good news? You want the good news or the bad news first?
I always go with the bad news first because the good news helps cleanse the palate.
Okay.
Well,
bad news first.
when you're doing something, when you're a manager and you're trying to criticize an employee or delivering any sort of bad news, it's good to start with something positive. Then you mash the shitty stuff right in the middle, and then you end with something positive.
That's a fact, yeah.
So I guess we should start with the good news. So the good news is...
So the good news. Okay.
We got another package from a very beloved listener.
No, he's not just a listener. We have a liaison that is in the field that travels the world searching for relics.
He's our own personal Indiana Jones.
We have, we literally have an Indiana Jones on staff now.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't...
The money's coming. It's in the mail.
I mean, this is a community effort, so
yeah.
The money doesn't matter.
Food stamps are on the way.
We all do it for the love of history.
Yeah.
So
You guys do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do it for the paycheck, but you guys do it for the love of history. So what is it?
So on an episode a while back, we got a package in the mail that had a bunch of legit historic artifacts in it. We got a iron Roman nail. Mm-hmm. There was a Spanish doubloon, a Spanish piece
Austrian
of
coin?
Austrian
I got it right
coin
here.
that you've got on the shelf right over there.
Oh, see?
Joel kisses it every single day. Even if we're not recording an episode, he will come over to the studio just so he can grab the coin and kiss it.
And I've got a bunch of weird bumps growing on the inside of my lip.
That has nothing to do with the coin, let's be perfectly honest.
No, it doesn't, but I'm just saying.
Oh, you were just making a confession? Sort of like the confession I made in the last episode we recorded. Still hope to God that I told my sister not to listen to it. Oh, shit, you know what? Maybe I should text my mom right now and tell her not to listen. I can text her at the end of the episode. I really need to make sure my mom doesn't listen to that episode. And if you haven't listened to the last episode yet, it's already out. She doesn't listen to them right away, so I might still have a little bit of leeway, but holy shit, I do not want her listening to that episode. It's a good episode, though. Everybody else should listen to it.
She'll find out about the windshield thing. Wait, I'm not supposed to talk about
That's a little bit less
Mama
serious
doesn't
than...
care if you got an STD on a cruise.
We don't need to talk about it 2 episodes in a row. She was on that cruise with me. Well, the worst part is she warned me. She was like, "That girl looks like a fucking hussy."
Did she say that?
No,
she did.
I don't.
That sounds like your mom.
Well, no. She's got a horrible mouth. She would have been like, "That cunt looks like a fucking whore."
But she would be right. Your mom has never been wrong. Has she?
I mean, she made the mistake of
having
a second child. So she's wrong sometimes. And I'm trying to make up for her mistake now.
All right, so what do we got here?
So we already got a package from, I'll just say his first name, Colton. He goes by Who Ghost there in the...
Colton, Indiana. His nickname's Indiana.
Indiana Colton.
Yeah, Indiana Colton.
On the Monday night
named the
premieres,
dog
he shows up in the chat under the name Who Ghost there.
Oh, so he's our little ghost. Let's just call him our little ghost.
Can
we just have him be our little
personal ghost?
Ghosty?
So this
he's our ghost that sneaks and steals fucking artifacts for us.
He must be. He snuck into Russia for this.
He's a ghost like fucking Splinter Cell, dude.
He's the
Sam Fisher of
he's a ghost like
Iconoblast.
Like Ghost Recon. Because I have a feeling he killed some people to get this.
He probably did.
So the letter reads, and I will
you
pull the objects out as we go.
Your light needs to be angled so you can read the paper better behind you. Is it fine?
It has nothing to do with the light. It has everything to do with my horrible genetics that gave me bad eyes. Once again, my mom's mistake was having a second child. So the letter reads, Dear beloved Iconoblast hosts, after a particularly difficult artifact recovery expedition, I have returned from the U.S. so that I can transfer more relics to your secure care. And by secure care, that means one of the little cupboards that I have on my 1970s waterbed bed frame.
Yeah.
Because
it's obviously very secure around here, which we'll soon find out about.
Nobody else is getting into my waterbed head frame.
True that.
And that's why I keep them there, because until I get a decent display case to put everything in so I can actually put it up on the wall.
What year is your bed from? Seriously.
It has to be
70s?
Probably late 70s or something like that. I think it's a classic.
It's a 70s
an
waterbed, but you have a mattress inside the waterbed sack.
Well, yeah, because we're in an apartment. You know how much I'd have to put down a deposit just to have a waterbed in there.
But you got the waterbed.
I got the waterbed frame. I don't have the waterbed mattress.
Yeah. Because you loved it.
I love that.
You love history. You love the 70s.
I love that frame.
I know you do. What's wrong with you?
I don't know. Honestly.
When the Czech Spice came into town.
It's so uncomfortable. Well, the frame itself isn't uncomfortable. Getting in and out of bed is uncomfortable because it's got all those.
So everything about
slabs.
A comfortable bed is not there for you. You're sacrificing being comfortable, getting in and out of bed. The dogs have trouble getting in and out of bed. Everyone's struggling because you wanted this 1970s Nazi fucking bed frame.
Well, no, it didn't come from Germany. I mean, it doesn't have swastikas and iron crosses all over the place.
It might as well.
Yet. I ordered those off of Amazon. They should be here soon. No, I mean, Joel, look at me. From top to bottom. Obviously,
no thanks.
I sacrifice comfort for style. Comfort over style any day of the week.
Except for your fucking bed.
Well, and except for my body and my face and my clothes.
Your bed literally is uncomfortable for you.
Yeah, you sacrifice comfort over style.
Fashion before pleasure.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's the famous saying.
Yeah.
Form over function. Actually, well, no, that doesn't even.
No.
My body doesn't have form or function. So, I'm keeping the previous artifacts that Indiana Colton, our own personal ghost, sent us in a very special cupboard that I have on the headboard on my 1970s waterbed frame, because I want to have a safe display case to put them in before I take them anywhere else, because I don't want to lose any of them. And this is a good example of why I am very careful about that. So,
I'm just happy we have a spy that's out there in the field.
I think he's more of an assassin. How else would he get into...
We don't ask. We don't talk about it?
Yep. Okay, so nobody needs to know.
You've already said too much of his name.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have said his first name. So, Ghost says, included in this box, a Caligula brothel token, otherwise known as a spintria. These were initially developed to allow entry into brothels because paying for sex in a brothel with a coin that had the emperor's likeness was punishable by death.
That's crazy. So they had to make their own coin.
Caligula, being the kind of man that he was, turned these into a collector's game. Like the original fucking Pokemon cards. Or maybe the original Pogs.
Ooh, I love
They were
Pogs.
Pogs, except you could pay for sex with them, which, holy shit, could you imagine that childhood?
That would have been nice.
Patrons could purchase tokens for use in a Dave & Buster's fashion, and if they were able to collect all 16 unique tokens, they won a Willy Wonka-esque romp through the brothel.
Yes!
That's like, you become a Pokemon master, and then you can just collect all the STDs.
Mm-hmm. Well, you collect the STDs
back then
later, but you get to do some fun stuff.
Yeah, it's like if you're going through Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, and then at the end you get herpes.
And the chocolate's vaginas.
Or, I mean, honestly, the chocolate.
Well, it's chocolate, whatever you want. Shit. What do you mean?
What?
Poo-poo?
You eat ass. You tell me you're going to go through a romp through a brothel and you're not going to eat some ass?
What? You eat ass? Wait, do you eat ass?
Dude, it's 2021, Joel. Who doesn't? What fucking year are you living in?
I gotta try it.
I feel bad for the Czech Spice. She's not getting the full package. Well, I mean, she's getting the full package, but she's not getting the...
I've never ate ass. Swear to God.
Get it.
Okay. I've never ate female ass.
Oh, okay, all right. I didn't want to out you on the show, but I'll accept that.
Yeah, I never went down there with the tongue or the teeth.
You'll fly thousands of miles to see the Czech Spice. You're not going to eat that ass?
Please continue.
I cannot believe that you two are still together. I would have dumped you months ago. So,
ask and you shall
unfortunately,
receive.
You shouldn't have to ask for it, Joel.
Jesus. Continue, please. I'm going to get in trouble for this.
Okay. You can cut it out if you want to. So, unfortunately,
I like getting in trouble.
I
Naughty.
was extremely excited about this Caligula fuck token.
Oh, you're gonna ghost?
This is the middle of the hamburger.
Yeah.
So we started off with the good stuff.
We dropped the hammer.
Now we're in the middle of the hamburger, and that's where we stuff all the bad stuff.
Ghost. You tell him. It was more for you, right? He knows your love for history. It's for the show.
Well, I already said
He's our personal Indiana Jones.
Like
you got to tell him.
You could tell before we started the show that I was actually really upset about that. I texted everybody that works at the studio.
You didn't only text everybody in the studio. You also were crawling around on your hands and knees looking for the coin. You checked every room. You checked every mailbox. You talked to every person that works here.
So what happened is when we got the letter, when we got the envelope, this is for the listeners at home, you're not going to be able to see this, but if you're watching on YouTube, the envelope was already pretty much
It's a fucking envelope ripped in half.
And
so we thought it was somebody here at the studio that saw the mail and opened it, which has never happened before. So we were like, wait, who opened our fucking mail?
Maybe somebody thought that it was for them, or like
yeah,
it
but
was
the way it
mailed
was
to the
ripped
studio.
to was obviously by a drunk person.
Yeah, pretty much what happened is somebody got into the mailbox, ripped the envelope in half. I'm assuming that the coin was the first thing that fell out, and they took the coin. They left everything else, luckily. But that was like a...
What the fuck?
That was like
and
almost
Coop even went outside, looked around on the ground, looked in the mailbox.
I dug through the dirt all around the mailbox outside.
Because maybe the homeless person just like ripped it open and the coin fell out and he was like, oh, there's no money in here. And then like fucking wandered off.
But no, that's not what happened. We're pretty sure that a drunk person actually ripped open the envelope looking for money or drugs. I mean, to be honest, there's a lot of drugs that gets mailed here.
It's actually true. No, it's not true. No drugs are ever sent here.
That was totally a joke.
But
they were looking for something, and they ripped it open. I think that was the first thing that fell out. They might have taken a glance at everything else and were like, oh, what's this nerd shit? Because they can't fucking appreciate culture. And they found a coin that had people having sex on it, and they were like, oh, this is funny. Not even realizing that it's almost fucking 2,000 years old.
It has the coin has literally people.
The coin literally has people fucking.
I would wear that as a choker necklace.
I would carry that around as a lucky charm for the rest of my life.
I would surgically attach that to my chest.
I would have a doctor implant that in the center of my forehead.
I would sew that around my asshole so I could not shit for the rest of my life until I died.
Ah, fuck! I got nothing for that. That's good. I would rip it out of Joel's asshole and have a doctor sew it into my asshole for the rest of my life.
I would get that doctor to sew our assholes together with the coin, keeping our flesh from touching. Okay, it's gone too far.
Well, that's some human centipede
Ghost,
shit.
I'm sorry, man.
We really are. And I am extremely disappointed that happened.
If you fucking message us right now that, oh shit, I forgot to mail the coin, then that'll be great. But
I will be so relieved. You have no idea. I will be so relieved.
He is a professional assassin, and that envelope showed up the most organized I've ever seen. There's no way he forgot the coin.
They don't make mistakes. Assassins like ghosts don't make mistakes.
But we lost the coin, bro.
I'll continue the letter because the rest of the stuff in here was also really fucking cool. Also included a 1961 Russian medal celebrating the successful launch and return of the first man into space, Yuri Gagarin. These medals were extremely...
Gagarin.
These medals were extremely limited in production and only given to the team directly responsible for putting Yuri into space. The Russian government does not appreciate my recovery, and subsequent trips to Russia will be difficult. So that was actually in here. And I'll hold it up for the camera. Another reason to tune into Drinking Bros History Channel on YouTube.
Look at that shit. It looks awesome.
It's so fucking badass. So to describe it to the listeners at home, Joel always has to have it so dark in here that I can't see anything, but that also has to do with my horrible eyesight. So it's a Russian guy, and it's a small bronze pendant. It's got a Russian guy inside of a circle with a rocket right next to it. You can't even tell that the Russian guy is starving to death and being held at gunpoint by the rest of the secret police, which is an impressive touch. And it says some Russian stuff, but it has the date of 1961 on there.
Crazy. That's
this
so cool.
is fucking awesome. I love all the stuff that he sent to us.
We need to have something on the wall where we put all these fucking artifacts that we've been gathering now.
That's why I want to get a display case. I actually ordered some of my own the other day that are going to show up, I think, tomorrow.
There's an empty space on the wall behind you next to the ghost bed sign. Right there could be a nice display case of all these sexy artifacts that we're getting from Ghost and whatever ones
I'm
you
going to
get.
need like a nice shadow box display case, or maybe
shadow
even
box. I like the shadow box sometimes. You know,
it needs to be something where I know that they're going to be safe. Ideally, something that I can lock. I don't want to lose any of this stuff. I've already lost.
So cool.
I have already lost way too much, Joel. Way too much. A sex coin from when Caligula was emperor. That's between like
I have never seen a coin
37
with two
and
people
41
fucking
AD.
on it. It's not cool.
It's
This
that's
is a
almost
catastrophe.
that's almost 2,000 years old,
It's a catastrophe, really.
and it has people fucking on it.
I've never seen a coin with people fucking on it. I've only seen pictures.
Me too.
It
And
sucks.
I don't know if I'll ever recover.
Ghost is going to be pissed, right? You know, in the chat right now, if he's in the chat, when this comes out, he's going to be fucking pissed.
I trusted you guys with these precious artifacts. He sent them. I will
Show him the envelope again.
I
Show
will
him the
say
envelope. Show him the envelope. Where's the envelope that's fucking ripped up? Give me the envelope that's ripped up.
I have returned to the U.S. so that I can transfer more relics to your secure care. And it
He
wasn't
did
secure.
his fucking job. It wasn't secure.
Just don't show the address.
Show the backside. Well, you're covering the part that's all fucked up.
I can't show the backside because that's got
I'll
all
make
of his
sure
personal information
Look
that's
at how
going to out him.
fucked that is. Somebody just
This
ripped
is
it in half.
This is how it was when it came out of the mailbox. And I waterboarded everybody in the studio to get the truth out of him.
Yeah. All right.
Also, one of the people died, but
Then they deserved it.
I got the truth. At least I assume so. I did a cavity search afterwards, and they definitely didn't keister it. But that was for my own entertainment. Next, a Cuban bond of voluntary work, also from 1961. These bonds were essentially receipts stating that a citizen of Cuba had performed their voluntary labor as mandated by Che Guevara. It reads, quote, "The work you do is the heir and son of liberty," because communism is all about liberty. I thought though Bro Avocado initially promised payment in return for these bonds. I know, I loved that reference. Though Bro Avocado initially promised payment in return for these bonds at the end of the year, the payments were delayed from 1 year to the next until the time of Che's death. To date, the payments have never been completed, and that's what I'm planning on doing with all of my own personal debts, is I'm just going to keep riding it out until I'm finally fucking dead. What are they going to do?
You have to.
Go after my kids? I don't give a shit about them if I'm dead.
You don't have kids, so you're fine.
As
far as you know.
None that I'm aware of. Hope to see you fellas in person before long. Drinks on me. Your personal ghost. Name redacted.
Sick.
P.S.
Oh.
P.S. I'm not looking for any promotion. I just hope you guys like the stickers. It's the only swag I have currently for my podcast. I use them and the business card to keep the bond from bending in transit. So, well, first off, I'm going to hold up this bond. This is this is the equivalent of monopoly money if you were living in Cuba when Che Guevara was still running the fucking
No, but
economy.
it actually worked, right? You could use that. You could use this money.
No, this was an IOU that
never
Che Guevara never paid off.
Whoa, yeah.
And this is really fucking cool because this is something that somebody was given while they were working under the
rule of Che Guevara. Bro avocado. Avocado.
Under the rule of Fidel Castro with an economy that was being run by Bro Avocado. So there's the front. I mean, maybe we can get
looks sick.
Maybe we can get
I'll throw
picture
it up.
of it and throw a picture of it up on screen.
It's real. That's the real deal. From our fucking ghost spy.
The real fucking deal from our own personal ghost.
I think Ghost is Sam Fisher's son. But we're not supposed to talk about that.
No.
Yeah, he's not Sam Fisher's son.
I hope to God that Sam Fisher is an alias. So, Ghost, I know that you said that you weren't expecting a shout out or any promotion or anything like that, but tune into the Just Dumb Enough podcast. That's the podcast that Ghost does.
Yeah.
Go and give him a listen. We appreciate everything that he has given us so much. Just go and check it out.
Yeah,
hook him up with some scribes. You go give him a like. You give him a review on iTunes, whatever your favorite podcast platform is. I mean, maybe go and give him a little blowy. Yeah, I mean, if he comes out to Austin, I'm going to. But let's be honest, I've done that to most of the guys in Austin. So, Ghost, thank you once again. We really appreciate it. Cheers. Drink for Ghost.
Thanks, dude. Cheers, bro. And now it's time for some Bolo.
So that finally brings us to our topic for today. So last episode...
Only 40 minutes in.
Only 40 minutes in. Hopefully we can trim that down a little bit. Yeah, bonus episode. We don't have to worry about the time.
We don't give a shit. Ooh, I smoke. Delicious. Tastes like chicken.
Drag from my really stupid looking vaporizer.
I think there's some people that like secretly have a crush on you. Instead of cutting that out, I'm just going to leave it in, and they might just start fucking finger blasting.
Well, if you leave it in, then...
They might blast their clit open, dude.
They'll stop having a crush on me.
All right, I'm going to blast my clit open. Jesus.
Oh, yeah, that's the ticket. So last episode, we were talking about the true story behind Bloodsport, as told by
As told by Frank Fox.
Frank Dukes, a very wonderful storyteller. And pretty much that was the only thing that he was wonderful at, aside from getting a psychiatric evaluation while he was in the Marine Corps Reserves after going to Vietnam. Not the
On
war.
Vacation.
Not the war, the country. I have a feeling that he committed some war crimes while he was over there if he did go, but it was outside of the war.
Mm-hmm.
Today we are talking about Bolo Yeung, most known in the States for his roles in Bloodsport, Enter the Dragon, and Double Impact. What we didn't know...
I wrote this.
Yes, Joel wrote this, and I transcribed it from crayons.
I felt like I had to say that again just because I don't want people to think it's you, because it's really bad.
It was all written over the top of an already used coloring book. What we didn't know is that he was in 68 films before Bloodsport and another 50 or so after. He was Mr. Hong Kong for 10 years straight, but only after swimming for miles across Shenzhen Bay for a chance at a better life in Hong Kong. His bodybuilding career...
So, if he made 68 films before Bloodsport...
That makes Bloodsport...
His 69th film.
Nice.
And I don't... that's actually true if you count the Wikipedia page count. But as I did more research, I found out that the Wikipedia page count is like 95 films, and then other websites that I found say he's done 111 films. So it might be off. But according to Wikipedia... Bloodsport was his 69th film, and I think that's pretty awesome.
And also, if you trust Joel's ability to count, his bodybuilding career got the attention of Bruce Lee, which landed him the iconic role in Enter the Dragon. Bruce and Bolo became friends, but unfortunately Bruce was murdered shortly after their broship started. But their relationship and film got the attention of Jean-Claude Van Damme, landing him his iconic role in Bloodsport. Yeah. Ah. We definitely have to move
Rotate
those
the mics.
Yeah, move those swing arms over to the other side of the table. Here's an article from June 22nd, 1972 by the New York Times. And I would also like to clarify that this article is from June 21st, 1972, and it says it right at the beginning of the article, which is my birthday, June 21st, not 1972.
It's your birthday?
June 21st is my birthday.
Wait, so fucking... Dude, we have all these connections to Bolo Yeung. I love 69, and it's your birthday.
Holy shit, he's our spirit animal.
He swam across...
I don't think he did it on June 21st.
We don't know. It's close enough.
I don't think anybody knows. I'm pretty sure that it
Bolo
happened.
Yeung is our spirit animal.
I think that it happened. Well,
It's
that
enough for me. It's
that I
enough.
can agree with. I think it happened a long time before 1972.
Yeah, it was probably early 60s.
Hong Kong, June 21st. La Fashan, a sleepy little village on the shore of Deep Bay in Hong Kong's new territories. Men, women, and young children squat near the water's edge. That's not very hygienic if you're going to do that right there. You drink out of that water.
That's when you got to pee where you drink sometimes.
Yeah, shit where you eat.
Why do you think he risked his life to get out of there?
Well, this is in Hong Kong. Didn't he?
Oh.
Didn't he go to Hong Kong?
Yes. Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yeah. These are
So
the people seeing the.
If that's an upgrade
swimmers.
from what he was in before,
Imagine.
fuck. So
Yeah.
he's swimming through human shit too.
And bodies.
Men, women, and young children squat near the water's edge, opening oysters for the visitors who come on outings from the urban areas of this British colony. Ratio is less because most refugees are aware that they will not be deported, so many voluntarily report to police stations to speed up contact with friends or relatives. This sounds like it was written in broken English.
Yeah, I think what he's trying to say is like, normally when people are trying to sneak across the border, no one tells the police. But because the locals knew that the police will let them in, they were telling the cops like, "Hey, my family's supposed to show up, fucking Friday," and the cops would be there to pick them up.
So the cops were helping him out?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice of them.
Yeah, like they sent people back at some point eventually, but for the most part, they were just like, come in, it's okay. But what they were doing was the cops would pick them all up, give them, I think they say it in the article in a minute, but they give them their shots and stuff. You know, they give them their vaccine shots for COVID.
I can't believe it's been that long already. As they chip away at the large, flat, gray shells, which do not pry open easily, they sometimes look across the water towards the other side of the bay, 4 miles away, and talk about another kind of visitor who comes from Lao Fao Shan. Quote, "They come here when there's little moonlight and the weather is good." They are refugees who swim from China across the waters of Deep Bay to Hong Kong. The escaping refugees spend 4 to 8 hours in the water, dodging Chinese gunboats and battling the tides. Quote, "They usually swim to a beacon about midway between the two shores and then make for another beacon on the Hong Kong shoreline. The large oysters of Lao Fao Shan, which are cultivated in beds extending far out into Deep Bay, are the delight of Hong Kong gourmets and the despair of the refugees, because the refugees land with their arms and legs cut and bleeding from crawling across the oyster beds."
Dude, I have a vision in my head when I read that for the first time of like Bolo Yeung making it to that buoy, the beacon buoy or whatever it is in the middle of the fucking ocean, pretty much. And then a gunship goes by and is like, "Oh, refugees," and they just start like Rambo style, like they're just like lighting them up. Bolo just like grabs someone nearby him, uses him as a human shield, right, and then takes a deep breath and just is sitting there like floating. And the gunboat goes by, and they just see like a corpse riddled with bullets, and he's almost like Rambo in the mud, but it's Bolo in the ocean, and he's just like holding his breath. The gunboat goes by, and he's like, then grabs back onto the fucking buoy and just waits for like an hour, and then keeps swimming. And he's the only one that survived.
Already fucking ripped at that point.
Oh yeah, it's full grown in my mind this whole time. Even though he's probably like 15 when he swam this, in my mind he's 40-year-old buff Bolo the whole time.
Yeah, I think he was born that way, and that's probably why his mother didn't survive childbirth. They sometimes suffer other injuries on their dangerous journey. One refugee who reached Hong Kong last week had been badly bitten by a guard dog that was ordered to attack him by a Chinese border patrolman. Deep Bay is on the western side of the isthmus through which the border runs. Refugees also swim across Mears Bay, which is on the eastern side of the isthmus.
Yeah, they call it deep. They call it Deep Bay. Also, like Shenzhen Bay is also called
Deep Bay?
Called Deep Bay.
It's the same thing?
Same thing. Yeah, same place. Deep Bay, I think, is what they Americans call it because they don't like to speak Chinese.
Well, why don't the Chinese just speak English? That would be so much easier to read. A small number of refugees sail or row to Hong Kong, and a handful successfully cross the land border, which is heavily patrolled. The influx of refugees this month is at a record level. More than 29 were picked up by police patrols or, quote, voluntarily reported in at police stations the new territories during the first half of June. If the level remains the same for the rest of the month, the total would be higher than during May 1971, when the largest number of refugees from China was recorded in a single month since the 1962 exodus. This sounds suspiciously familiar to something that's happening in America.
Mm-hmm.
On a single day this month, 69 nice.
69.
On a single day this month, 69 refugees were detained for processing as
I did not
quote-unquote,
edit that. I swear to God.
I didn't either, and I probably should have. Well, I mean, not to cut out the 69, but on a single day this month, 69 refugees were detained for processing as quote-unquote illegal immigrants. The British authorities do not use the word refugees. Of these, 45 were swimmers, 19 arrived by boat, and 5 came overland. In the past, officials of voluntary organizations providing aid to refugees estimated that for every refugee reported by the police, 3 or 4 others slipped into Hong Kong undetected. Now they believe this ratio is less because most refugees are aware that they will not be deported, so many voluntarily report to police stations to speed up the contact with friends or relatives. This sounds so goddamn familiar.
Yeah. It's crazy, right?
As the boys on Softcore History say, shit don't change. The officials now multiply the police totals by 3. Almost 4,000 refugees were processed by the police last year. Thus, the officials estimate that about 12,000 actually entered Hong Kong. So far this year, about 1,800 have been formally recorded as refugees.
Can I say something real quick?
The unofficial total is 5,400.
What's weird is they keep referring like Hong Kong is not in China. Like refugees from China going into Hong Kong. That'd be like if Hong Kong's in China.
It's out on the water, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's still the same country. So it's
still
so when they say refugees from China, it's just like it's still the same. It's still the same place. That'd be like, refugees from California are going to California Island.
I'm actually going to look this up real quick because, much like a large portion of my knowledge about history, surprisingly comes from the game Total War. And the last Total War game was set in China, and that's my strongest knowledge of Chinese geography. So I'm going to look up exactly where
Hong Kong is. Yeah, I did the same thing.
So I don't sound like a complete moron, just a partial moron.
It's over there on the edge, over there on the east. Hey, Ruben, what are you doing? While Koopy looks this up, I want you to take off your pants. Wait, first take a shot. Okay, did you do the shot? Okay, now that you took the shot, now take off your pants. Okay, that's great. Now take another shot. Now take off your underwears.
So
Let me see your pee-pee.
Total War was slightly inaccurate from how I recall the map, or I'm just recalling the map wrong.
Continents slowly bend and change over time.
Oh, okay. So this happened back during Pangea, before everything really spread apart and changed places. I'm not a geography expert. I'm sorry. I'm not an expert in anything aside from maybe crying.
But it's interesting the way they word it, right? Like Chinese
Yeah, there's
refugees going into Hong Kong. Like I was like, wait, is that Japan or something? And I'm like, no, Hong Kong's in China.
There's
So
most
it's like-
likely some political backstory to that doesn't
Well,
make
it's the
sense.
same
to
like
us at this
everyone
point.
moving to Austin right now.
Yeah. So okay. So
Refugees from California are flooding to Austin.
Texas is China and Los Angeles is Hong Kong.
Yeah. No, opposite. California is China.
Oh,
is
they're fleeing
China,
to Hong Kong.
and they're fleeing to Hong Kong.
Okay, so
which is
Los Angeles
Austin. Yeah.
is China and Austin is Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Not all the swimmers reach their destination. Some are picked up by Chinese gunboats patrolling the two bays. Others are attacked. Holy shit! Others are attacked by sharks, and a large number become exhausted and drown. Already this year, 59 bodies have been recovered in Hong Kong waters.
Just that year, and they've been doing this for 10 years, and that's the only ones they found. But they're not even looking for them. Those are the ones that like wash ashore and annoy people.
Those are the ones whose bodies didn't get completely eaten by sharks and fish.
Yeah.
Bolo, born Yang Ji, swam to Hong Kong at some point in the 1960s. In 1970, he won Mr. Hong Kong for the first time. It was this that helped him get his role in Enter the Dragon. His character name in the film was Bolo, and because of the huge success, he adopted the name as his own.
Yeah. Oh, and Yang is just like and I tried to figure out what the name thing was about. Yang is just another way to say young. It's the same
so he
name.
kind of.
And
It's like the immigrants coming through Paris Island. They would just, Paris Island. They would Americanize their names to help themselves fit in, or.
But but Young, Yeung, is just the same. It's exactly the same as Yang. It's the same name in the Chinese language. It's just two different ways of saying it. It'd be like it's like how if you said Joel and then you saw the same word and you said Yol or something.
The similarity between Jean and John.
Yes, it's like that, but written out differently.
Yeah.
But then he did also change his name to Young, spelt like in the American way for one film, for some reason. In one film, it's the Bolo Yeung, like spelt like young boy.
Young?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to teach
Whatever gets you paid.
I'm not going to fucking tell him how to spell his name.
No, neither am I. But yeah, I thought it was weird that you can't find out who his parents are just from Googling all night, one night for 8 hours. And both his original names, Yang Zi, they're both last names, which I thought was weird. So then when he got popular for Bolo, he chose Bolo Yeung. But I mean, people in America are born with 2 first names. It must be something like that. I don't know.
So maybe his full name would be
He might have had another name that he never said, is what I'm getting
His
at.
full name with his adopted moniker would be Bolo Yeung.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bolo trained in martial arts since he was a child. Rumor has it he even trained under Bruce Lee for a few years before Bruce was killed by his horrible wife. Bolo and Lee were best bros, like Bert and Ernie, without the sex, or Thelma and Louise, also without the sex. They were in the middle of planning their next film together when Lee was murdered by his horrible wife. They were supposed to have a big epic fight where finally, after a ridiculous amount of ass-kicking, Bolo is beaten to death by Lee. Although Bolo never got to have this epic battle, 13 years later, he did get to fight Bruce Lee's son Brandon Lee in an alley in the movie Legacy of Rage.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this wasn't the epic fight that he had once imagined with Bruce, but getting his ass kicked by Bruce's son must have given him a little bit of closure.
I would think so, hopefully.
I would think so, too. In a later interview, Bolo confirmed a rumor about Bruce Lee fighting people on movie sets, and even claimed he witnessed it happen once after a stuntman/martial artist approached Lee and challenged him to a duel. Bolo said he watched the whole thing. The guy was good and actually got a couple hits in, but Bruce Lee was much more skilled and faster and ended the fight with a head kick. Another story...
Wait, before we go into this, I wanted to talk about what the Mr. Hong Kong was. Just real quick, like that was like China's version of Mr. Olympia. So like, why I was excited about this.
Mr. Olympia, but it didn't matter because it wasn't Western.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
But there's more people in China than here, so it matters more there. But
But they don't matter. I mean, do they really matter?
Bolo Yeung is like the Chinese version of Arnold.
Ooh, that's a good comparison.
Yeah, because Arnold did the exact same thing. Arnold defected from the military to and got busted for it to do a bodybuilding competition. He snuck out of the military.
That's a good enough reason to go AWOL.
Yeah, and then
He went back,
I think
though,
he was
right?
going to come back, but it was
I hope so.
that's what kind of fucked it all up. And then he moved to America, bodybuilded. He won Mr. Olympia for 7 years. Bolo did it for 10. Mr. Hong Kong, Mr. Olympia, same story. Arnold got fucking Conan for it. Bolo got
Enter the Dragon?
Enter the Dragon for it.
That is kind of
very
a
similar.
strange...
Yeah. Arnold hasn't even been in 100 films. Bolo got super famous, but in China, and made his whole life off of movies. Arnold was famous in America. It's like the exact same story.
Well, and the fact that Bolo did more films, it makes sense because there's more of everything in China. There's more people, there's more... Well, I was going to say tentacle porn, but that's Japan.
They probably got it there too.
But
anyway, I just thought it was cool that there was this two sweet, super buff dudes that can act were successful just because they worked out super hard.
Could you imagine them being in the same film together? That would have been awesome.
Oh, they never made a movie together. What the fuck? It's not too late.
It's not.
It's not too late.
Another story, this was on a set Bolo wasn't a part of. Apparently the stuntmen were getting tired of the way Bruce was treating them. Sissies. Nice little interjection there. He was hitting them harder than he should, and he wanted the shots and the hits to look real. But what he was doing was beating the shit out of all of his stuntmen. The stunt coordinator, Benny Dobbins, got sick of Bruce's behavior and made a call to one of his best guys. The best of the best guys, Gene Labelle. Long story short, the stunt coordinator told Gene Labelle that Bruce needed to be brought down a peg or two. So Gene went over to humble Bruce Lee with a juicy headlock. Bruce Lee did a double backflip, landing in the splits, then roundhouse kicked Gene's head off. Or at least that's how Bruce described it. According to good old Benny Dobbins, Bruce couldn't get out of the headlock and started screaming. Then Gene lifted Bruce up onto his shoulders and started running around the set laughing while Bruce yelled, quote, "Put me down or I'll kill you." Gene, having 30 years of martial arts experience, multiple tournament championships, and around 200 tournament trophies from the Kumite.
Yo! Nice.
He didn't take that threat seriously. Gene simply laughed and replied, "I can't put you down or you'll kill me."
I love that.
Gene was true to his word and carried Bruce around on his shoulders for the remainder of their lives. Okay, so this is
the editor got some freedom on this.
One or two changes. The two eventually developed a begrudging respect for one another and began an affair that lasted until Bruce's untimely death. Gene continued to carry the martial arts legend's decaying corpse on his shoulders until he died from heartbreak less than a year later. In actuality, Gene eventually put Bruce down, and there was probably a moment where something may have gone down, like a gentle caress on the cheek, but I think Bruce took the hint and they respected each other. After that, Bruce was a little nicer to his boys. Some say the scene in Quentin's movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is loosely based off of this encounter. If Bolo Yeung was there, Gene would have never gotten away with this.
If you don't know what Bolo Yeung looks like and you're listening to this, just fucking search Bolo Yeung. Heung.
BOLOYEUNG.
I love him.
Look him up in Bloodsport. He's the main antagonist in Bloodsport, and he's terrifying.
Yeah, it's the best.
After Bruce Lee's death, Bolo continued his career as a juiced-up, jacked Chinese supervillain in around 20 more movies before the big one came. Oh, by the way, Bolo never cried when Bruce Lee died. Ever. and still has never cried. Ever. Legend says his power comes from his tears, and if he ever cries, he will die.
Fact.
The Chinese Hercules snapped 100 necks, made 100 babies, and deadlifted 700 plus pounds before he got the call to be in Bloodsport.
Okay, the first two were made up, but that was his deadlift.
No shit.
He could actually...
Over 700 pounds?
Deadlift over 700 pounds, yeah.
Fuck.
That's almost a ton.
I mean, I'm
That's
close.
almost a ton, dude.
I'm close. That's not that impressive. I can do like 25, 30. So...
Yeah, well, yeah. It makes... Yeah.
And I haven't been Mr. Hong Kong for 10 years straight, so...
You can almost deadlift a ton. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Bloodsport is the film we all know and love him for, or hate him for, or fear him for, or have a crush on him for. What a fucking sexy beast. Bolo is so huge in this movie, you could land a helicopter on each one of his pecs. His neck is thicker than J-Lo's thighs. His abs are harder than understanding a woman.
Nice touch.
Thank you. Even though he was only in a few big films in America in the 80s and 90s, he will always be one of the most badass villains of our time.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I put him up there at the top of.
right?
If you're going with like 80s and 90s movies,
Yeah.
then for sure he's up there close to
else-
the top.
who
Well, I
else
mean,
is the one you
primarily
think
just
of?
because of Bloodsport.
Yeah, Bloodsport and Double Impact.
Double Impact.
Remember Double Impact? He had the scar.
Oh yeah,
And there's all the stills. when
Double
you
Impact
search-
is the one where there's two Jean-Claude Van Dammes, or
Yeah,
is that the one with Dennis Rodman?
No. That's wait, what was that was called? I can't remember.
Oh wait, no, I think it was just called Dennis Rodman and Jean-Claude Van Damme fuck each other.
Yeah. I mean, Van Damme has had twins in 3 films, I think.
What?
Yeah, I can't remember the names,
In
but yeah.
3?
3 now, yeah.
Double Impact is the one that matters because that's
Double
the only
Impact's
one
the
that
one
I've
that's
seen.
sweet, yeah, because it has Bolo in it. If Bolo's in the movie, you know that there's going to be like an over-the-top neck snap, an arm break.
Somebody getting
Someone
their thigh
dying.
bone kicked out of the back of their leg.
Yeah, and
That
he just
traumatized me as a kid.
One thing about Bolo, when you watch the movies, he never looks at who he's fighting ever. If you watch it, that's what makes him so creepy, dude. Like when he's like, yeah, like you see him, he's always looking up or out, and when he's killing someone too, like if he's snapping a neck, he's got him right there up against his giant pecs, and he's snapping a neck. Arnold snaps a neck. He's like, looks at him and goes, "Hey, I'm going to snap your neck now." And then the neck snaps.
Remember when I said I'd snap your neck
I'm
last?
going to do it first this time, you know. And then, but Bolo like looks up and just stares off, or like just past lens almost every time.
Well, it's like he's got a 1,000-yard stare in his eyes when he does anything like that.
But the whole time too, with everything he does, that was his secret. Why he was in 100 movies.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that he just had a lazy eye, though.
It could be.
But it suited him.
Isn't it weird that not all of them, but most of the most popular fucking dudes that in the 80s and 90s had something wrong with them? Like Bolo's got this 1,000-yard stare. Stallone had that weird lump on his fucking forehead that you couldn't stop staring at. He always that big welt. It looked like he always got punched in the forehead before.
Jean-Claude
before
Van
his
Damme
scene.
had that coke addiction.
Coke, and then
They all had something
Arnold
wrong with
was
them.
just had this weirdest voice ever, and then Stallone's lip was all fucked up. Like every single one of them has like they're all
Actually,
fucked
yeah,
up,
now that you mention it, there's something just
off about 'em.
something
But that's what makes them unique.
unique.
Yeah.
It's 2021. We'll call him unique.
Yeah. It's the unique.
Bolo and Jean-Claude became friends on the set of Bloodsport. Jean-Claude showed Bolo how to do splits. Bolo shared his steroids.
Yes.
They played tic-tac-toe between takes and drank some sake. Frank Dukes was probably super jealous.
There he is. There's Frank.
Bolo Yeung's supposed to be my friend. I'm the Vietnam veteran. I've got a Medal of Honor.
Yeah, I'm the one that fucking did this, not Van Damme. What the fuck, man?
Frank said that Bolo's character in Bloodsport was also based off of a real person that he fought in the Kumite tournament. And
See, now it's reconnecting with this. That's why it's a tangent
Now
episode.
it's all looping back around.
Tangent episode.
Frank said that Bolo's character in Bloodsport was also based off of a real person that he fought at the Kumite tournament and had, in fact, blinded him during the competition. But it wasn't blinding powder or anything weak like that. It was with poison gas from a ninja spike bomb that was invisible to the naked eye that not only blinds you, but makes you bleed from all of your orifices. Luckily, Frank was accustomed to bleeding from his anus, and his ninja reflexes kicked in. Frank backflipped out of the way, through a window, and into a nearby pool filled with naked Playboy models. Then they totally had a bunch of sex. What Frank really said is that he was blinded by his opponent flicking sweat into his eyes. Again, luckily for Frank Dukes, he was used to men being on top of him and sweating on him. Bolo and Van Damme hit it off by hitting each other in the face, a technique that Van Damme went on to use when flirting with women at bars.
Oh.
Van Damme made sure to get Bolo in on his next film, Double Impact, where once again they shared sake, steroids, and long, wistful gazes into each other's eyes from across the set. The end scene of Double Impact is iconic. If you haven't watched it, watch it.
Watch it. Do it now. Watch it now. Ruben, I'm talking to you. Watch it now. Take a shot. Fuck you.
Bolo is now 75 years old, lives in L.A., 100 plus films under his belt, and has some kids, one of which he's actually aware of, who followed in his jacked father's footsteps and became a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Although he's old as shit and not as jacked as he used to be, Bolo Yeung is still someone you shouldn't fuck with unless you want your leg bone kicked out of the back of your goddamn thigh.
That's right.
God bless you, Bolo Yeung.
God bless you.
And thank you for not drowning in Shenzhen Bay.
You're a good man, Bolo. Thank you for your movies.
Yeah, he was... I mean, Bloodsport is still, in my opinion, from the movies that I've seen him in, Bloodsport is still the best one because he was so fucking scary in that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
He terrified me in that movie. And in a martial arts movie... Like, I'm never scared of anything in a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, aside from being in the same room with Jean-Claude Van Damme and him getting a boner or something. Have you ever seen that video of... There's a video of Jean-Claude Van Damme appearing on some weird talk show, and he starts dancing. He's wearing these, like, 1980s parachute pants.
No, I've seen
And he
him
starts
in those.
dancing with this model that's part of the show, gets a full-blown boner, which isn't actually that impressive, and then is just super embarrassed and spends the rest of the time trying to hide it, and everybody's laughing at him.
What? No, I haven't seen this.
It's fucking humiliating. I highly recommend looking up online Jean-Claude Van Damme boner. You're probably going to get a lot of stuff that you don't expect, but if you dig through enough of the videos, I know for a fact that you can find it. And you'll have fun getting there, too, because I did.
Wow. Okay.
So that was the end of the Bolo Yeung story. Is there anything you want to add to it?
No. That was it. That was it. I liked your little additions to my writing.
All 100% accurate.
Improved it.
Yeah, that's something that you can tell anybody and say it with confidence because you know that every single fact in that story is 100% true.
Yes.
I'd stake my career on it.
I don't think there was anything that was untrue in there except for the parts that were obviously untrue, which aren't obvious.
I mean, it all seemed pretty true to me.
Yeah, me too.
I made up
Frank
some
Dukes
of it.
made up some bullshit.
Yeah, so
don't do
that actually loops it back around even more to the Bloodsport episode. Is just channeling a little bit of Frank Dukes.
Yeah.
Just embellishing the story, maybe
free.
throwing in a bit of shit that is just blatantly a lie, but it's entertaining.
Yeah.
So this
So
this
in a
was
way, maybe he was an entertainer.
It was not only a tribute to Bolo Yeung, it was a tribute to Frank Dukes. So now I feel kind of dirty for doing that because fuck Frank Dukes.
Yeah, fuck Frank Dukes. But Bolo seems... Bolo has my respect.
Swimming that far across a shark-filled bay,
He probably punched a couple sharks.
I mean, he had to have.
Maybe he got there quick. He probably just rode a shark.
Honestly, he probably has some
He
shark...
probably jumped the shark to fucking Hong Kong.
This episode's jumped the shark, but I think Bolo Yeung probably has some shark children out there, too. Half
Right.
shark, half Bolo Yeung, that would be fucking
That'd be
terrifying. That's the kind of movie bad guy that I would really like to see.
So it's like buff like Bolo Yeung, but it's a shark head?
So it would be like a
pit bull shark.
it would be
style
it would be like a minotaur, except instead of a bull's head, it would be a shark head.
Okay.
And it would just kick your fucking thigh bone out of the back of your leg.
Wait. Oh, minotaur is the bottom half is a man.
Yeah, bottom half's a man, upper half's the head is a bull. I think in
don't they already have that in Suicide Squad? The shark that Stallone plays.
I don't know. I refuse to watch any of those movies after the first one.
Well, I want to watch it only because Stallone's in it, and apparently it's really good. The one that Stallone's in, where he's a shark that literally what you just described it's Stallone's body with a shark head and with Stallone's voice. One
of Bolo Yeung's illegitimate children is in the new Suicide Squad mode.
Wait.
And it's voiced by
Sylvester Stallone. One of Bolo Yeung's illegitimate children is Sylvester Stallone. He's old enough.
There is no way that I can disprove that that's not true.
And that's why his fucking lips so weird.
I heard a story about why Stallone's lip was all fucked up, and I can't remember what it was.
It's because Bolo Yeung's his father.
Bolo Yeung is his father and continued to have sex with his mother after she was pregnant, whacked him in the head with his dick, gave him nerve damage, and now he's got a fucked up lip.
Yeah.
And it created his career. That's something else that we have to thank Bolo Yeung
for giving birth to Stallone. Okay, let's get out of here.
Yeah, that's it for the first episode of Iconoblast Tangents. Who knows when we're going to do this again? We'll
if
do
you
it
like
when
them,
we
we'll
have
do more.
time. Yeah.
If you didn't like it, we'll never do it again.
I mean, we kind of do whatever the fuck we want on the show anyway. So if you don't like it, we're probably going to do it again. But at least you will know if the episode title says Iconoblast Tangents.
Then it's going to be whatever this was.
Yeah, you can skip over it if you want. We're just kind of getting our tangent fix out of our system so we can be a little bit more directed on the history episodes.
Exactly.
Still going to be tangents on the history episodes.
Can't help it.
Yeah, that's just kind of in our blood. I'm pretty sure that we both have brain damage of some sort, but it works. We have complementary brain damage.
Yeah. It works. Works is in quotes, I think. It's getting us by.
I dare say that almost everything I say should be in quotes.
Yeah, me too.
All right, we'll see you all next week.
Right?
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed the story.
We didn't learn anything, but it's because it's a tangent.
Yeah, well, I mean, we learned that Bolo Yeung swam across a really big bay to escape a mysterious past. Which is a pretty fucking
Mr.
good
Olympia for 10 years.
Pretty good origin story for a superhero.
True, a supervillain. He's a villain.
Supervillain. Yeah,
he's a supervillain.
Yeah, no wonder he played.
He's been a good guy in 2 films, and I can't remember what they were, but I want to watch them now because, this is something I read that's not in there. He always wanted to be the good guy.
Really?
Yeah, and he got to be the good guy.
Oh no, I didn't mean really. He got to be the good guy. I said really. You read something?
Well,
you watched a video.
I watched the video.
Oh, okay.
No, but he wanted to be a hero, and he was in 2 movies. They were super successful in China and stuff. I want to watch them. They're called like fucking Blood Fight or something. No, that was another one where he was a bad guy. It's like a ripoff of Bloodsport, but it's probably got dragon in it. But I don't remember what it was. But they made 2 of them, and he was the lead. And he's the good guy, and you see this different side of him. And apparently, in real life, he was really soft and gentle and kind. And also, like, the way he used kung fu and martial arts, he used it as a deterrent, and it was supposed to be something soft for him. He's a gentle man. But then when he... In his movies, he's a violent, evil supervillain, but that's apparently nothing like who he is in real life.
I would imagine that everything that Bolo Yeung did had to be gentle, or he's accidentally going to kill somebody. And I also have to say that I don't think there's anything soft about Bolo Yeung. I think that he is full-blown erection 24 hours a day, whether he wants it or not.
100%. Yeah, I think that's just what he has to project, that softness and kindness because of all the women he's accidentally killed with his penis.
Because he's one of the few living humans where his penis isn't just a blood-filled phallus. It's literally another muscle. He can do curls with his dick.
He might be the next Genghis Khan. We just don't know yet. Like, everyone now that's around in their 20s from China
Do you think
are related to Bolo Yeung.
Do you think that Bolo Yeung has a baculum? A penile bone? Or is it just solid muscle?
He might be.
Call
the
back to the
only
Samuel
other...
Czar episode with John Devilman.
He might be a descendant of Samuel Czar and have the second human with the penile bone.
All right, well, we will be back next. I don't know when this episode's coming out because this was just kind of a
I'm gonna try to
thing
get
that
it
we
out
did.
as soon as I can, but yeah.
You have said that to me so many times, and it's always a lie, but it was in reference to something else. So next week or next Monday, we are going to be back with another episode that I've already written. It's going to be not a holiday episode, but it's going to be a respectful memorial episode because our next episode is coming out the day before a very important moment in American history, which is Pearl Harbor. It's going to be the 80th anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor. And we've got a story about a couple of bros that went around fucking shit up while the attack on Pearl Harbor was going down.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be a fun one. So thank you for joining us once again. You can follow us on Instagram at Iconoblast Podcast. You can follow me at Coop Nukem. You can follow Joel at Joel R. Benner. Check out the Drinking Bros History channel on YouTube. That's where
if you want to watch the video version of the show, go on YouTube and subscribe to that.
Oh,
It's like Squid Game, except there's cum.
Yeah, it's where we upload all of our videos. Anytime we do a premiere for an episode, we always sit in the live chat and we'll talk to everybody. Honestly, it's a good time.
It's like Squid Game, except there's cum.
Yeah, I love it.
I
The live
enjoy
chat
it.
is, you don't even have to watch the actual video. It's just in the chat, everyone's talking, everyone's fucking making fun of us. What's his name? Bates?
Oh,
Bates just makes fun of me.
Bates has
Every show.
Oh man, he digs into me too, but I fucking love his roast. He's so good at it.
He's good at it. Yeah, it's a good time in there, man.
Shout out to Chapes for
We got
sending
some
us
teachers in there too. Like if you have actual questions about history during the show, there's actual teachers somehow listen to the show. Katie, Carlos. Shout out to you too.
Ruben is always
Knows his shit.
on
Like,
the money with answering questions or
the chat helps you
doing some
learn.
research.
You can learn more.
It really does. Any of the
Womb's got multiple ladies.
Oh yeah,
Somehow tricked him into staying with them.
There is as we learned during the last premiere, there's a reason that his screen name is Womb Raider.
Yeah.
It's like Squid Game, except there's cum.
There's a whole bunch of other people that I'd like to take the time to thank, but it's a big
love all
list of
y'all,
names.
dude.
We love all of you.
Space.
Thank you so much.
Ghost.
Space Cowboy,
Womb.
Ghost, Womb Raider, Kragers, Davey, LJ, Wyatt, Avery, Logan. There's.
Fuck, you're good at this. You're better than me. I keep trying to think. I can't think of anybody.
I've been trying to remember all the regulars' names, and it's been hard. We had a new one last time named Frank. We had a new one. last
RV
time
dude. What's the
named,
RV dude?
Andre. That drunk Mexican.
That drunk
is
Mexican.
in there. This is
It's
another
like
one.
four
of those-
Jakes. Scotty.
Oh, Scotty.
You're the boy, dude.
Big shout out to Scotty, the most honorable
owe you
of
something.
dirtbags. He has been.
If we ever get to meet in person, I'm gonna get you fucked up. I'll buy all your drinks.
Scotty, come out to Austin. Go out to 6th Street. Instead of turning left, take a right. I'll hook you up with the
I'll
free.
suck your dick.
It's like Squid Game, except there's cum.
It's Scotty. I'm not gonna.
Rosie, free the rose.
Hashtag free the rose, Rosie. We hope that you get out of
Get the fuck out of there, man.
The Australian prison soon.
Yeah, prison life's tough, man.
Oh yeah, don't I know it? That's where I learned all my techniques that I use down on the bad side of 6th Street. But it's serving me well now. I'm making at least like $15-20 a month off of it.
Yeah, hey, whatever you make,
I'm good.
get some spam with that.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week. This has been the first episode of Iconoblast Tangents. My name is Matt Cooper,
Joel Benner.
and we're just kind of talking shit now.
Yeah. Fuck you, Dad.